Now, no potty mouth in Jade. Be on best behaviour.
Yeah.
You can get wrapped up as well because it's 5 degrees in here.
Yeah, it's a bit fresh, isn't it?
It's nippy.
We need to get the space heater on, but we can't have a space heater on while we're talking because you can't hear us.
Yeah.
It is quite a good one though, isn't it? Because it's one of them indirect ones, so we don't have to breathe in the fumes. The fumes go out the side of the building.
It doesn't try and kill us.
No.
You've got to weigh it up between what do you want most. Do you want to be warm or do you want to be dead?
Yeah, gassed to death. Which has been a problem in the past with the other one we have. I did end up feeling pretty ill one day because I'd had it on. It was cold. I had it on a lot. I was still, I was like deaf and cold and feeling ill from it because it wasn't big enough to heat the shed well enough.
Yeah.
But it was
like day
taking
drinking.
the edge off. Yeah.
It's like day drinking. It creeps up on you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, yeah, no, this is okay.
Yeah.
And then come towards the end of the working day, I don't feel very well.
Yeah. I'm still cold. And the problem is when you stood welding, you're not doing enough to create enough heat in you to keep warm.
Yeah, admittedly, there's heat there, but it's very localised.
Well, yeah, someone's red hot right in front of you. Whereas if you're doing a job where you're moving all the time and you're moving all your body, you do end up reasonably warm.
Yeah, you're fine generally, but it's stood about.
In the workshop, it's just you're not doing enough to keep yourself warm. So yeah, we'll get that struck up after we've finished.
Yeah.
So
some of the sacrifices that we make for this rubbish.
Yeah. This nonsense.
So hence, again, why we're probably going to keep it.
Yeah. Succinct.
Possibly. Yeah. We're going to create a tighter format. Not all this rambling bollocks for an hour and a half.
Well, yeah. In the summertime, it'll go on for hours because it's nice and warm.
Well,
but,
we'll probably be, go outside a bit more, or
yeah. So tomorrow is the day. Wait, the last working day for a lot of people, isn't it? 20th of December.
Yeah,
A lot of people are packing in.
Part timers and
which I will hold my hand up. I am going to try and be a part timer.
You do right if you can do it.
Which was
Make
last
the most of.
Yeah, last year I didn't, and on Christmas Day I was still thinking about work, and it's not right. It's not fair on the girls. But I'm still.
How did you manage that though?
What?
With 3 small, festively charged girls in the house. Yeah. How did you manage to
still be thinking
about work when?
Because I just can't help it. I don't want to be. That's what frustrated me the most. I was like, I don't want to be thinking about this, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm stopping tomorrow.
You just can't switch off.
I can. Just takes 2 days.
Oh.
And then I've sort of stopped. But the trouble is, I am going to have to do some jobs because the stuff that hasn't landed yet that needs sorting out. So it's basically going to be dispatching stuff. I think that's going to have to happen on Monday. But I'm going to try and not sit at my computer at all for 5 days in the run up to Christmas.
Okie doke.
I can't guarantee it's going to happen.
So you need either 2 days clear to get into the festive spirit, or half a bottle of Baileys.
Well, now you mention it, I might be going to the pub tomorrow night for exactly that reason. Not the Baileys, but the beer.
Okie doke.
Try and get in the festive spirit with a few pints.
But you see, again, moderation. Because if you go a bit too hard, then your next day of trying to get into the festive spirit is
ruined.
If you're anything like me,
yeah,
definitely, yeah.
I think we're at the age now where the hangover just takes days if you go at it quite hard.
Oh, I get hungover before I've picked up the first pint. I just pick up that first pint and I can feel it. It's no. No.
So yeah. So and trying to go but I've got a lot to do because we've got Lammer the second week of January.
Yes. Which
is a show at the NEC for agricultural machinery. Massive show. We have a stand. So there is a lot to do. So it's going to be flat out in January. First 2 weeks of January are going to be absolutely flat out to get that done.
Or you could. These 5 days that you're thinking of having off, you could just do a bit in them.
Yeah. I could.
I'm not helping that.
And I probably will.
No. You've got to reserve.
As much as
reserve
I've said to
some time.
Lindsay, I'm stopping, and she's like, "I'll see it when I believe it." That's the wrong way around. I'll believe it when I see it, is what she said, because that's the right way around. And in fairness, I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. Can't help it, but anyway. So Christmas is going to come and go in a heartbeat, like it always does.
It is, but as long as you make the most of it while it's there, just crack on.
And that's just when you've got young kids, you're like, you want to make the most of it for them. And that's what, like last year, I was in a foul mood with myself for still thinking about work.
You moody swine.
Oh yeah, the Grinch. Oh, what was it? Lindsay found a T-shirt, and what did it say? I'll have to find it. I'll have to just bit of editing here. She sent us a T-shirt, it's basically dead right. Where's it gone? The T-shirt says "grumpy shirt," and then there's a bit of a description out of a dictionary, and it's basically the description is a normal shirt but with me in it, and that's pretty much dead right. She's like, "I'm going to get you that." I was like, "Yeah, get it, I'll wear it," because it's not wrong.
So what were you doing? You were just walking around the house and smashing Christmas presents and...
No, I was sat on the sofa on my computer doing work on Christmas Day, which is not ideal.
But is that because it had to happen? It was...
I think it's more because I hadn't stopped in time. And I was still thinking about it. And so to try and get it out of my head, I did it. Even though I didn't want to do it. But because I couldn't get it out of my head, I get stuff in my head and I can't stop thinking about it. And like the only way to get it out of my head is to either do it, or if it's talking to somebody, tell them whatever they need to be told, or like, I don't know, it ends up in... Anyway, yes, so anyway, we're going to avoid that this time. Even though January is going to be flat out because of it. So yeah,
I have a nasty feeling that you're going to spend the latter part of the holidays thinking about all this that you have to do that you've got to jump straight back into. You're going to start doing something. I have money on you'll have that painted before New Year.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that bet because I can pretty much.
I can guarantee that will be painted with the box in and finished before New Year.
Yeah. Well, no, not with the box in. Painted, yes.
Oh, what? Because we haven't the boxes.
No, but because like, if it's painted and it's dry, then it's a lot less of a job. To assemble it.
Yeah.
But like painting doesn't take that long. So if I get it all ready, I can come down, do an hour painting.
Yeah.
And it's not a big job. Anyway, yeah. And it also, you need the time for it to dry in between coats. So yeah, sort of need to gain the time on that. So it'll be, yeah.
You can fetch your new Lego set that you got down as got off Santa as a present. You can fetch that down and build that while you're waiting for it to go off the first coat.
Yeah. So yeah. What are you doing out for Christmas? Going anywhere? Seen anyone?
We've kind of tried a different tack on Christmas Day.
Right.
Because my mother and sister are just up at Hawes. We tried it last year and it works quite well. Instead of rushing round in the morning and then either getting up there for dinner or them coming down to us for dinner, we just have like a bit of a snacky dinner at home.
Yeah.
Just whatever's going on, you know.
Yeah. Bacon
and eggs or just chocolate wrapped in chocolate. And then go and then have like the proper meal at more towards sort of tea time.
Yeah.
And that seems to be working a bit well because you've got a bit more time for the kids to open the presents, play with them, mess around,
enjoy the actual day.
Exactly. You enjoy the day more. You go and and then you can sort of relax more, and no one's rushing to get anything cooked by a certain time or get everything done. It's all a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
Which is what it should all be about.
Yeah.
And then generally just, to be honest with you, on an evening, we'd play quite a few games of cards or stuff like that, or dominoes, and kids love that sort of thing.
Aye.
Especially when there's a bit, you just got to bring in a little bit of competition to it. Oh, and cheating.
Right.
You've got to just, honestly, just try it. Just, I'm not good at it, all right? I'm not good at the sleight of hand, all this other rubbish. But the more you do, the more you find you can get away with.
All right.
Of just, and it's only little, small, innocuous things, but it then adds another dimension to it. Whereas if I then start winning, of course my good name is then brought into question.
All right.
As in, Dad's cheated again. He's got cards somewhere. Have a look up his sleeves. There's a bit more to it then. Right. And generally, yes, I have been cheating, and yes, I have cards up my sleeves. It kind of gives the game away when you're halfway through playing a game of cards and there aren't enough left in the deck to deal out to everybody because I've got them all in my person. Whoops. Or because our kitchen table's got like bits of cracks in it underneath and whatever, because it's of a certain vintage. Awesome for just slipping cards in underneath, and then just, if you remember what's where, you're golden.
Right.
Oh, like such as, I don't know if you've ever played Phase 10 or like Uno or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, anybody comes around with a pick-up 4, got one straight back at you, buddy boy. I've never picked up a card in Uno for years.
Right.
Straight off.
Oh wow!
How many cards have you got? Oh, this is a good one for Uno. Get yourselves, if you can, just slowly but surely through the play of the game. Just let it get underway, basically.
Yeah.
Then, when you're putting your cards down, if you can, have one stacked really tight underneath the other, and bang them both down together so they look just like one. But don't make a big deal of it. Just in a normal rule of play, just pass it off. Nothing. And if you get that down right, no one will blink. I won't look at it. That's 2 cards for one deal there. And then also, when you're fanning the cards out, anything from a 10, 11, and 12 all start with the 1 at the front.
Yeah.
So when you're having, this is more for instance, if you're playing something, I don't know if you ever come across Phase 10, but it's go and buy it, make someone's Christmas, go and buy Phase 10, because for like a group game, brilliant.
Right.
You're supposed to collect. It's very much like a simplified game of rummy, almost. Right. So for instance, you've got to collect all 10s or get a run or whatever, but it goes up to 12, and so your 10, 11 and 12, if you put them out in a fan together, you can only see the 1 at the start. So I can say I've got a group of 4 12s. I can only have 1. The rest can be like 10s and 11s.
Right.
But because you just see the 1 at the front, you bang them down. Wait, done it. No one questions a thing.
Right.
If you do it right, and there's just, hey, there we go. It's only
until they go.
Yeah. It's only
hang on a minute.
If they know you've got perhaps previous form, that they'll then start going, Dad's cheating again. Oh, I didn't realise. I didn't know. It was like that. I thought it was. Oh, it was honest mistake. Right. But it just adds a little element to things. And then the best one is, do things in a shifty manner to sort of tempt them out to call you out on it, and then obviously you were telling the truth, and then you demand an apology. I don't know where these accusations are coming from. This is disgraceful, and until I get an apology, I'm not playing anymore.
Right.
I've never done such a thing. You've no evidence that I have. Where this is coming from, I don't know.
Right.
And then the next game, back to your old ways, and no one dare say anything because they think, oh god, we'll just make a scene again.
Savage.
Boom. Yeah. Oh, you've got to keep them on the toes.
I think, in fairness, a few more years and that might be the way to play with Fliss and Zoe, because like they're just a bit too young for that yet. And I think Zoe would be all over it. She'd be like calling you out every which way. Fliss wouldn't take kindly to it and might get quite upset. So I'll leave it a couple of years. And then
you have to play by the rules because they are the rules.
Well, I think if I was cheating, they might, they wouldn't just quite take it the way it was intended at the age right now. Yours are obviously a bit older. But
you don't. Well, true. But what I would say is, if that's the opinion they have of you, as in, Daddy lied to us. Daddy never lies. Well then, maybe not.
Leave it a while yet.
Exactly.
There's a few other things maybe ought to come out in the wash first before we go down that road.
Fair enough.
So no, well, it'll like I say, it'll soon be here and soon gone, but it'll be fun. So
Now Dominoes is a bit difficult to cheat at, like really difficult, but it can be done.
Right.
It can. Anyway, moving on away from.
Before we have a list, but I've just thought of something that's not on the list. So something that happened this week that was pretty awesome is Hector went home from hospital. So my brother and sister-in-law, Mike and Vicky, who were down in Stafford, had a baby that was born 9 weeks premature, and he's been an absolute fighter, done really well. He's still absolutely tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a picture of, I couldn't get perspective of how small he was, but there's a picture of my brother holding him on his chest, and his hand is basically as big as he is. My dad's been and seen him and basically said his legs are that long, the length of his finger. Mm-hmm. It's just mental. So that's pretty awesome for them. That he's what is he? Well, he was 9 weeks early. It doesn't quite work out somehow. Anyway, he's home. It's basically home 3 to 4 weeks before he was due to be born.
Date. Yeah.
It was due middle of January, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
And that's
but doing well.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. Flying. So that's and they got a shout out on radio too actually. On Sarah Cox did a shout out. I think Vicky must have sent pictures in and what's been going on.
Oh.
So that was pretty cool.
Good. So
that's a good do for. So
nice to be back for Christmas.
Settling into life at home with many animals, cows, pigs, chickens, dogs, cats.
Yes,
I think that's everything. Can't think there's anything else. And now a baby. So awesome. So I thought I'd just get that in.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Good do.
Yeah, no, it's when I first heard that he'd arrived and he said, really quite early, but doing well. You always feel a bit sort of concerned. You think, because they're just so delicate.
Yeah,
just so small and delicate. But as soon, like you say, putting weight on, rallying, they've obviously let him out. He's going in the right direction.
Yeah, and the thing is, I haven't met him yet. It'll probably be January before I do. But I know when I see him, I'll be like, bloody hell, he's tiny. Knowing that he was even smaller than that when he was born.
Yeah. So,
again, the NHS is awesome and undervalued, taken for granted, or whatever you want to call it. We've talked about this before, we don't need to get into it again, but they've done a tremendous job.
The actual, the front line.
Yeah.
The front line. We're not getting into it now. Thank you.
There's a lot of time we keep saying, we'll talk about that some other time. We've already talked about the NHS and so we don't need to get into that again.
Upset everybody.
So and there's So moving on.
And moving on, James.
Yeah.
The A4 steering box debacle saga.
Yeah, it's still in the way. So the steering rack off it went down to the southeast of England to be reconditioned, and inevitably, and I did see this coming, got the phone call to say it's beyond economical repair, we can't refurbish it. So now we're into them supplying us a pre-refurbished one. So that's a little more money, but it'll get the car back on the road. And I did price up some other ones elsewhere, and in fairness, they weren't going to beat what they were doing. No. So that's due to land at any point, which will be a job that I will do as soon as it lands. So it's technically not work, but it is going to get done because we want the car back on the road.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
I've been riding around in Mum's car, and she wants it back. So rightly so we want it back on the road. It's just the only issue is how do we get it tracked, because obviously it's going back on and it's not going to be tracked right.
It wasn't your own.
It's not my own rack that's coming back. No.
To then put your own track rods back onto where you knew they were.
And even in fairness, if it was our own rack that was coming back, they told me to take the track rods ends off, which in fairness, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. But actually, it's probably better they did, since it's not my rack that's coming back. And even if it had been the rack that came off the car, and we put the track rods back on, we'd still end up having to get it tracked up, because you can guarantee it wouldn't be right. So, yes.
So this is all having to happen in the run up to Christmas, when we all know that there's a massive rush on, because everybody knows when it gets to a certain point, usually this coming Friday,
tomorrow night,
then you can just forget about anything till you get to at least 4th, 5th of January,
something like that, isn't it?
The rest of the world just grinds to a halt.
Yeah,
which in some respects is.
Well, I intend to do that myself this time.
If you're going to grind to a halt yourself, but if you're running a business,
it's
then different. It's a bit more difficult.
I do wrongly. I love bank holidays. Yeah. Because basically, I can get so much more done on a bank holiday. Like, it's an extra day of work when you're not. No one else. You don't get many phone calls, and like you just come to the workshop. And you just get a load of stuff done. You're like, this is brilliant.
Oh, I see what you mean. You aren't having your time taken up by correspondence.
Yeah, which is a lot of what I do.
Telling me.
Someone did say that our business is a sales and marketing business, which I kind of agree with, to be fair. I know exactly what it means, and hence the reason I spend a lot of time on the phone.
When you're offering bespoke solutions to problems mainly in agriculture, you're going to spend a lot of time on the phone. Yeah. You're going to spend a lot of time sending emails. Yeah. There's a lot of toing and froing just to do with maybe one issue. Yeah,
definitely.
There's going to be a lot of that going on.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully the A4 will be back on the road before Christmas, which will be helpful. Just when this rack lands, to be honest. But in fairness, it didn't take a lot of getting off, so it's going to take even less putting back on, because there's less to try and work out. So yeah, it could be back on the road in an hour.
Oh, I love your optimism, James. But generally, let's be honest, it's easier to undo something than it is to put it back on.
Well,
you're taking your bolt out of somewhere, especially blind. It's easier to take it out than it is to line everything back up and to get it started again.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're not having to sellotape a nut to the end of your finger and hold it roughly where it is.
Yeah, no, well, it depends. Like the track or ends will go back on into the hubs pretty easily.
So, you're not having to
smash them out. Yeah,
true.
So anyway, so we'll get that back on the road pretty swift.
Well, you heard it here first, people.
The
gauntlet has been set. One hour.
I will time myself. But based on what you said as soon as you got here this morning, we've done it again. We've talked about something, and then it's been undoing on us.
Oh yeah, we've just been tempting the gods again. Yeah.
So I've probably shot myself in the foot massively. Anyway.
So first of all, he's assuming that this rack is gonna appear.
Well, yeah. They can't really be wrong because they've got the old one, so they've got exactly what came off it to match it to. So if they manage to send the wrong one out, it's a poor job.
They've got the old one that is apparently beyond repair. and now we're sending out another one that we've prepared.
Thanks. As if I wasn't sceptical enough about this job.
Just take it. I am being a dick. It is. I have very little doubt that they are telling you the truth.
Yeah. But it's a fair point. It is a fair point. And all you've got to go on really is that they've got some pretty good reviews on Google to justify the fact that what they're telling you is true. And in fairness, I've spoken to them a few times, and the conversations I've had with them, the things that they've said make me think they are telling the truth. But yes, I get where you come from.
Would you trust them more than, for instance, the firm that you went, the salvage firm that you went to, that supposedly had one, and they'd taken it off themselves, but couldn't tell you that they had?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, 100%, easily. It's not difficult to do that. It's not difficult. So yeah. Anyway. Yes. Moving on.
But yeah, the Christmas rush. You've had a slight problem.
Yeah.
But the way that it's been handled.
Yeah.
Sort of
credit where credit is due. Definitely. So I ordered a load of laser cut steel from the supplier I use regularly. I use them because they are normally spot on. I've had fabricators tell me that they are very good because normally they've worked with material that's been folded by other, and it's normally they've said normally it's not just right and we have to beat it with a hammer. This is always dead on. So, and that's sort of why I use them, because they might not be the cheapest, but they are normally like spot on. Anyway, there was a job we were meant to be doing today, building a wrap and twine to go on the front of a tractor. And the pallet of stuff landed yesterday. I picked it up from where it gets delivered, put it back in, and I looked at it and thought, I don't think that's right. But obviously it was wrapped up, covered up. Broke into it this morning, and straight away I was like, this is wrong. So then you get the delivery note out and you look at the figures and everything and like, how the hell have I balls this up? Like, you look at it and think, immediately you think, how have I got this that wrong? So straight away it's like, oh, that's just knackered today for what we were meant to be doing to start with.
But then initially you didn't want to go flying off the handle assuming that someone else was at fault.
No, because I normally am at fault.
Because you want to be sure first.
Yeah. So then it's go back up to home, because of course you can't find the emails on your phone down here. Go back up to home, go on the emails, and basically start with my email to them asking for what I wanted and all the files. Their quote back to me, which was nearly right, apart from somehow they'd swapped 2 of the quantities over. I don't know how they'd done that. And then the delivery note that I got was just 7 items. 1 was right. 1 was the quantities were the wrong way around, and the other 4 they'd sent 1 of everything, and there should have been 4 or 6 or whatever. So then it's a phone call to them to say, look, I've got an order here and it's not right. And at that point I'm like, get in. This isn't my balls up.
No.
I'm like, oh, that's, as much as it's a pain in the backside, at least it's not me that's ballsed up.
Yeah.
So it's a phone call to them to say, I've got an order here, it's not right. To which the last one in the phone said, send an email, and I had to get a bit arsey with her and say, no, we're not doing emails, I need to speak to somebody because I need this sorted today. So ended up speaking to the quality man, and in fairness explained it to him and said, look, I've got the delivery note in front of me, we can go through it line by line and I can tell you what's wrong.
Yeah.
So we go through it and he's like, yep, dead right, it's completely wrong, I don't know how I've done it, we'll get it sorted. And in fairness to them, and fair play to them if they manage it, they reckon they can get the right bits here tomorrow, which I think they probably can do, but that's going somewhere, isn't it? That's laser cutting and folding, palletised, and on a wagon at some point today to be here tomorrow. They do work 24 hours a day, so I don't know what time they get collected from, but that pallet's going to have to go through a distribution hub at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once it's off site, it's out of their hands.
Yeah.
And it's not like delivery companies haven't got much to do at the moment.
No, busiest time of year.
Yep.
So, in fairness to them, I did end up, like I said, credit where credit's due. I got off that phone call thinking, that's why I deal with them.
Yeah.
Because, yes, they've ballsed up, but the lad sorted it. He's on sorting it, and I've spoken to him again since, and it looks like it's going to happen. It'll be here tomorrow. So they potentially could have that lace cut stuff with me within 24 hours.
Mm. So you could then, with all that stuff, then build it together, put it together through the festive period.
I could, yeah.
When you said you're going to have all this time off, you've now got all this free time to be able to stick that together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday morning.
I can see why you put all this time aside, because then you've got a lot of free time to work.
For myself.
Yeah, I was thinking for you. Yeah, you're not just a pretty face, are you? Yeah. Now I'm starting to see that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, create a bit of a buffer, but no, I think there'll be some. Well, I could be in a lot of trouble if I do that, but never mind.
Oh, I see. There's other outside influences now, is there?
Yes. What I've done is create expectation.
Yes.
That I will be present.
Yes.
From more than one person. So no, yeah.
You've basically promised not to be Mr. Grumpy then.
Even though I've said buy the T-shirt that says it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. But I'm not going to say who they are because I don't think it's fair. They're normally very good.
Yeah.
And it's not often they make a mess up. In fairness, I think they did. The last time they did something like this probably 2 years ago. And we'll have had a lot of orders from them since then. It's just unfortunate it's happened right now. But anyway, so yeah, fair play to them for sorting it. And and I feel a bit bad in fairness if the pallet gets here and then it sits there for 2 weeks because I'm not doing anything.
You bastard!
But
someone's out there breaking their neck right now. Thinking, oh my God, I'm holding up the productivity of this company.
Well, they are, because it's a job we were going to do today.
No, it's not like we're twiddling our thumbs, though.
Well, no, we're not. Well, so we'll call this twiddling your thumbs, but
oh no, this is productive.
Yeah,
this is productive. We need to keep our 20 supposed viewers busy for an hour or half an hour or how long have we been going?
And it does do my attitude a lot of good. So yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? Good fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the final point.
Why we do this again?
The final point, which is I'm not going to say what you've put on the list of things to talk about because we can't repeat it. But
it was more
when I sat down, I couldn't help but laugh.
It was more an emotion.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
So
yeah,
I've had a text message from a farmer in Northern Ireland who we supplied a silo crab to earlier this year.
Yes.
It's called David Irwin, Red House Holsteins. He does a hell of a lot on TikTok about farming and promoting farming. So he yesterday sent me a message saying they want to put together a video of how the changes that are coming with respect to the taxes and regulations and everything that's been changed at the moment in agriculture is going to affect their suppliers. So suppliers like us, we supply with silo crab, and in fairness, like I'm all for that because that's what a lot of people don't understand, that the changes that are going to happen are not just going to impact farmers.
No.
And this is why I was in such a foul mood after the budget, because I knew straight away, although it hasn't yet, but it's going to. It hasn't slowed the job down yet, but it's definitely going to at some point. How it's going to impact suppliers. Like, we are a minute business in the grand scheme of things. But, go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, probably the starkest image of this is, especially with the winding down of the single payment and what have you, is that even when it was at full chat, the vast majority of farmers that I know, when they got their single payment was already gone. It was already spent. They'd already spent it on, with say the feed merchants, like you were telling me before about the vets, about all these, the people that provide machinery, fuel, all the services to agriculture. That money that is coming into the farm, it's gone again.
Yeah.
They're not holding on to it. They're not, oh, this is all mine and it will be mine forever.
Yeah.
The vast majority of farmers that I know, it's gone. It's accounted for.
Yeah, it's got a home before it's even landed.
They are banking on being able to get hold of that money, and they have already portioned it out to wherever it needs to be. So, and these are the people that, like you say, are relying on agriculture.
And like, I think our business is maybe slightly different to some, in that to do what I do, I source materials and products and equipment from businesses that are outside agriculture. So like the tank monitoring systems that we've started making, which this is a bracket for. So the sensor that goes on the end of there is from Siemens. The box that goes in it that communicates is from a company down south, who up to the point where I started asking, can we do this, hadn't anything to do with agriculture. So laser cutters, they granted the bit that we pay to them for what we buy is minuscule, but that's agriculture, farmer paying me to support me and my family and my business, and then we are then paying it out to industries outside of agriculture, because really their main business is industry or any number of different industries, nothing to do with agriculture. And some people have done this before, where they've done like basically a sort of a tree where you've got farm at the top, and then you've got how the money disseminates from them throughout so many industries, and even like in the rural community, how towns are living off agriculture. Some people don't think they are, and some people would say, well, it's not that big a deal. But you look at Laban, there's an auction mart there, that has obviously, you look at the schools, how many kids are in there that are either farming related or, like us, a supplier to farmers. So that they would argue that it isn't that big a deal, but it is. And
arguably, agriculture should possibly be an even bigger deal.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit perverse how say people would probably, in fact you could damn near bet on it, people would probably rather go hungry for a day than do without their phone.
Yeah.
Alright then, 2 days, 3 days. Oh, you're going to put your phone down now and eat something out here. And it's that just needs bringing back into focus.
Well, I can't help but think that the politicians that have made the changes and thinking, do you actually like eating? Do you enjoy food? Because where the hell do you think it's going to come from if you continue with this?
Oh, we'll just import it like we do everything else. We're an island.
Well, they're all kicking off in France and abroad about this deal with South America, aren't they? I can't remember what it's called. It's got some fun. It begins with M, and I can't think I don't even know how to pronounce it. But we're not. Somehow we're outside of that. Well, because of Brexit, we're outside of it. But the French are all kicking off that this, and I can see why, because they are not producing food to the standard that we're producing it to.
So they don't have the same harsh regulations. No,
they don't have the same costs. So funny enough, they can sell it cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what I don't get. It's like the hypocrisy of it is, let's make it the UK really environmentally friendly from a power, an energy point of view. Cover the country in panels, solar panels, and all that lot, and basically reduce the amount of acres that can actually produce food. So we're doing that whilst they're importing food from the other side of the world that's not going to
but
go to the
what
same
happens
side.
out there doesn't matter.
No, out of sight, out of mind, isn't it?
Yeah, don't worry about that. No, they're not chopping down rainforest. No, heavens, no. No.
Just mental, isn't it?
They're not riddled with disease and foot and mouth. No. You eat your Frey Bentos pie. You're fine.
So yeah, that's something I've got to do over the weekend. Is basically somehow. And I said to him, I messaged back saying I'm not going to do it today because I need time to think about what I'm going to put in because I could soon end up rambling like we do, and it needs to be quite concise.
I thought we were wrapping this up like 20 minutes ago.
So, but I am on board with that because I don't think the government realises it's not just the farmers. You've got machinery dealers like the big John Deere, New Holland, all those sort of dealers. They're £100 million businesses on one end of the deal, and you've got my very small, some might say it's significant, but it's quite significant to us, business that it will have a big impact on. What I am glad for, massively glad for right now, is lactoline, because I think, exporting lactoline will help us massively. Yeah. Because obviously that's outside the UK. There's 34 lactolines sold this week to go to a roti pilot in Switzerland, which is quite exciting. So, so if we can push on with that, that has the potential to help us massively.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So, yeah, I'm grateful for that right now. Sometimes you wonder why you do it, but...
yeah, but this is... Anything that's worth pursuing is... And you've just got to dig deep, but you have a feeling that, it's gonna come right.
Yeah. I'm excited for 2025. I'm really excited. I think there's, the opportunities are there. We've had a rough couple of years off the back of coronavirus and all that lot. And it's probably been a battle, but I think we've lactoline is just. I've said it this week to a lad who's going to help us with marketing, because although he was the one that pointed out we're a sales and marketing business, I'm like, well, that's not so good because those are the two things I really struggle with. But hopefully he's going to help us with that job to push that on. And I said to him, I think it's on the cusp of doing really well. Yeah. And and not only that, this is the Perry AI Weeder, there's the front boxes. There's a lot of things to be excited about for 2025. And Hudson Junior version 4 in April. Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Back at it.
Yeah. So anyway,
you can get your money's worth out of a bloody crib, can't you?
Yeah.
Right, let's wrap it up.
Right. Thank you very much for watching, and happy Christmas. Although this will probably come out after Christmas.
More than likely, because we're so on the ball.
Yeah, it'll be next Friday when it comes out. But anyway, and Happy New Year for 2025. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy it, like and subscribe.
Have we got any likes and subscribes?
I've got a few, yeah, just quietly ticking away, yeah. It's surprising, you think, when you see the figures, it's not been what to massive amount, but when it's 100, when it's at 100, you're like, that's 100 individual people have watched that video, or part of it, whatever it is. I don't know how they work it out, but anyway. There's 100 people have actually clicked on it and taken some minor amount of interest in it. And
unless some poor victims have, I don't know, they've got autoplay running and they've fallen asleep in front of the telly and it's just casually waltzed on before they've managed to come to the senses and gone, ugh.
Or they went to Italy, had a telly that was a smart TV and thought, I know, if I put our videos on this television and play them over and over again while I'm in the apartment, YouTube will think we've got somebody watching in Italy.
That'll fox the algorithm.
Just messing with them. Not that it made any difference, but it just entertains me. Anyway, right, we'll get on. Thank you very much. Take care.
Done. Right.
Goodbye.